Welcome to the fourth tutorial of this series, guys. In this tutorial, we will learn to secure our REST API that we developed and used in our last tutorial. For securing the REST API in Laravel, we will be using Passport Authentication. Apologies for doing this tutorial after a while, guys. I was really busy in one of my personal projects. I really appreciate your patience. So let's see what we will be developing today. It's up here. So we will be coding this today. This, as you can see, this is a login page. We will have a register page. This is connected to database as well now. And countries is a link that is secured now with the help of token that is generated by Passport Authentication in Laravel. Our countries API, which we developed last time, is also secured. So let's see how it looks now. Let's log in. So this is, if you remember, we developed in the last tutorial. Right now, when we call the API, last time this API was obviously not secured. So, but this time it's secured, and you cannot, if you're not logged in, you cannot even call the API using Postman or any other REST client. We will see how we can do it in our tutorial in this video. So let's get started. Open up the terminal and then we will navigate to Laradock folder inside our project and spin up the Docker container using docker compose command, nginx, and mysql as well in this case, because now we will have to deal with the database too. So let's see what happens. So as you can see, MySQL container didn't run because it's trying to spin it up on 3306, which in my case is already in use. So we can just simply change it to 3307 in the .env file for Laradock. So as you can see here, 3307. So now it should be able to at least run if there is no other problem. But looks like there is one more problem. So these problems, guys, you might have these problems, and I'm showing you how you can fix these problems if you have them. But if it just runs on your machine, well and good, skip these steps then, because I'm using Laradock, and these problems can come up. So to fix this particular issue, it has something to do with the permissions. I've added this in the description as well. Look up for this key in .env file for Laradock. Yep, and change it to ./data. That's it. Now you should be able to, run the database container, MySQL container. Let's see. It's stopping the containers, and now we'll spin it up again. So it's initializing the database, which is good. All right, so looks like it's all good. So just to test the database connection, what we will do, we'll open up SQL Pro and we will say 127.0.0.1 default secret 3307. There you go. So that's your database, and that's your empty database that it just created. So it's all good. So now we will open another tab in the terminal and compile our React using watch. We will run the watch and we will open up where we left off in the last tutorial. guys, if you haven't watched the last tutorial, please do so, because this is the continuation of from the last tutorial. So localhost is not up yet. And it's because it's probably this. Yep. So we are running Nginx on 8081, like we are running MySQL on 3307. So that's why it wasn't opening up. So yeah, this is where we left off in the last tutorial. As you can see, this is calling the API in our local machine. There's something wrong. We'll quickly have a look what's wrong. Oh, that's because your I think the URL is not right. So we will quickly have a look. Yeah, this is not right. So this should be local host. And now you should be able to, oops, refresh. There you go. So as you can see, this API, which we developed last time, you can call it without any authentication. So in this tutorial, we will make this API secure. We will add like a nice login and register view as well, using React and Laravel and we will secure everything with the help of Passport. I won't be doing too much coding in this tutorial because it will take a lot of time. The video will probably go to an hour or 2 hours. So I'll be copying a lot of code and pasting it and explaining you what's happening. And I will put the whole project in my GitHub repo and put the link in the description. So, alrighty. So, second step is changing the database environment variables inside your env of your project. So, this is for Laradock, and this env is our own project, right? So database connection is fine, host is fine, port is fine, DB database is default as we saw it here. All right, and password is secret and username is root. We will just confirm it from here. Yep. So database is default, user is default as well, password is secret. So user is default as well. So make sure you've got these variables right, because these variables will be used to talk to MySQL database. And please make sure this env file is different and this is for your own project. So first we will go on with installing Passport. So we will type in these 3 commands to install Passport. Let's open another tab and use this command. Composer required Laravel Passport. So it will install Laravel Passport package for you. And after that, we will be running PHP artisan migrate to, which essentially copies your migration scripts from here into your database. Currently, as we can see, the database is empty, but after this migration and all those commands, you will see there will be a few tables in the database that will be used for the user management. It's taking a bit of time, so hang in there. So Laravel Passports package is installed. Let's run the second command, which is PHP artisan migrate. So if the database environment variables are right, this will work, otherwise it won't. So as you can see, it's not working. As you can see, I'm successfully able I was able to run PHP Artisan Migrate successfully. So this error was due to the DB host that should be my loopback address, and the port should be 3307. For some reason, it wasn't recognizing MySQL with 3306. So this should be your configuration in your env file for your project for the database to be accessible. So the third command we need to run is php artisan passport install. That will install all the tables needed for passport. So as you can see, now the database should have tables. So these are the tables that it created for you to manage the users. So php artisan passport install. So it created and generated client ID and secret for you to manage the tokens. So now we will need to add this trait in our app user model. Laravel Passport has API tokens. So go to user model in the project and add has API tokens. It should have added. Yep, that's good. Next, you should call the passport routes method within the boot method of your auth service provider. Why we will do this, I'll tell you in a while. So here we will call the auth method like just after register policies. So what it will do is it will register the routes necessary to issue access tokens and revoke access tokens, clients and personal access tokens. And finally, in your auth.php file, you should change the driver option of API Authentication Guard to Passport. This will instruct your API to use Passport's token guard when authenticating incoming API requests. So go to auth.php. Oops. And we need to change the API driver to not to token, but to passport, like said. So after this, we will create an auth controller for login and register. So let's quickly go. And so this is our project where I will be copying the code from. This is the auth controller which we will be copying, and I will explain as much as I can. So this method is simply, it has two methods, login and register. So these will be essentially APIs that will log in a user and send back a token as and a success message, and this will actually get the body of your request and validates it and create a user in the database and then send the response. So these two methods will be used in the APIs. We will see. It's pretty simple. So now we will add the routes for login and register in API.php, which we will be using from our React frontend like this. So login will go to auth controllers login method slash register will go to auth controllers slash at register method. As you can see, currently we have the third API, which is countries, and currently it's not secured. And we will see in a while how can we secure it. We don't need this one, so let's get rid of it. So yeah, we have now 3 APIs, and this is post method. Of course, you can't expose the username and password and credentials in the URL. So we'll get rid of everything, and we'll go to the next step, which is add auth middleware in countries API. So now we have got the passport set up, and you will see how quick and easy it is to secure the API. We'll go to the API.php routes file. What we will do is we will just add this bit at the end of the route. So now this country's API is no more accessible unless you have the token in your header. How easy it is. So now we will quickly go and test this. So okay, so this is not what we want. So let's see if we are still able to call this API. No. So it failed. We will see why. So now it's saying 401 unauthorized because this is now secured, and you need a header, you need a token in order to be able to see the response. So we have made this secure. Let's go ahead. Next step. All right, so till here we are done with the PHP. We are done with Laravel. Now we'll come towards React, and in React we will have to first add the for the navigation. We'll first need to add React router DOM, which is a package that is used for the navigation inside React. So let's add this quickly. Should be quick. All right, good. Now we will have to create and code the needed components in React. So this will be inside resources, JS components. We'll completely revamp this. So countries is no more countries. Countries, well, actually it is. I've added some styling, so please don't think that there's too much that's changed in this file. It's just, I just wanted it to look a bit better. So I'm just copying the code, and I'll explain you bit by bit what's happening. So I'll add all the components first. So I'll start off with auth, login, and register. So we'll create a folder for login and register components, login.js. So this will be login.js, and one more. all the code will be up there on the GitHub repo that I will be pasting the link of in the description. So you don't need to worry about the code. Register.js. So first of all, let's close everything and go to app.js. So in app.js, as you can see, it's starting from index now, but in our case, it was starting from example, which we will get rid of. So we'll get rid of example and name, and we will be adding some new components. So let's start off with index.js, master view, root, and header. I'll show you why we are creating these. Master view, root, and header. Header, index, master view, root. Yep, that's good. Countries and country view as well. I'm trying to make it as much, because as much um, modular as I can, because as we are moving on with React, there will be a lot of code in React, and we can't just do everything in 1, 2, or 3 files. So it's good to, because this is not just the tutorial for Laravel and React, but also you know I will be showing some new features and some new functionalities that you can do with React as well. For example, using hooks in React. So now we will start off with index in app.js instead of example. And why I added root, master view, and index is because of the navigation. So root will essentially have this, which, and index would have this. I will explain you what's happening here in a bit. Header is just the navigation header. Um, master view is actually the file with all the routes. Root, master view, index. Country view is actually the component that renders countries. .js, and I think we're done. All right. So what's happening here is your main page is index. In index, we are saying use these two things in root, which means one more thing in PHP that we need to do is we need to change this um, route in web.php to something like this, because now we are dealing with the paths and navigation and all that sort of stuff. So we just want to be in React. We don't want to go and navigate into PHP anymore. So yeah, so index has this browser router, and in browser router we have root wrapped inside. What is browser router? It came from React Router DOMs library that actually handles all the navigation. And root has header and master view. What's header? Header is essentially your, so this is how I'm using hooks here. This has a state is logged out. This is a function that actually manages the session storage, which we use to store tokens. Um, this is the view for login and register. This is the actually the list of login and register. This is for logout. What we are doing here is we are rendering a navigation bar um, that says React with Laravel 7 that has a link to countries and that has login and register buttons. That's it. How it looks is like something like this. So this is the header, and let's go back to root. And this master view actually has all the routes, has the definition of all the routes. We'll wrap it in main, and switch is actually switch only returns one of the route. So which means if you type /login, it will only return login component. If you write /register, it will only return register. And similarly, you need to put this if you're using path like this. I'm not sure why we need to put it, but this is how it is. And this will render country view. And this is the callback method that's coming from the props in master view, which we are providing from root. And this is we are using this um, uh, just to manage the session and token and login and logout buttons. All right, so this was all about the navigation. Um, let's go to countries. This is again, nothing has changed here except, so first when you go to the login page, what happens is this gets rendered, and when you type in your email address and password and and this form gets submitted, this method gets called post login. So when the post login gets called, it's an async method, as you can see. It gets the email and password from the state. It sends a request to my server /API/login as a post request and data wrapped like this. And if the response is successful, it actually sets the session storage, sets a variable in session storage named as token, and sets the token inside the session storage which we use to authenticate a user. So after successfully logging in, we have a token stored in our session storage, which we use to actually um, send a request to the countries API from. So this is countries.js. What is it? Just has a simple input and a button, and when you click a button, it comes here. It gets the query from the state. It makes a request. It's a GET request, but now this time we have added a header which will get the token from session storage and send it as authorization. If this token is fine, then you will get the response successfully. Otherwise, you will be here and your storage will be cleared and you will be sent back to the login page. So this is the flow, um, and we will see it in action in a moment. So this is the countries, and country view is just more styling, more stuff, and wrapping countries inside it. So just to make it look more fancy. Um, so yeah, let's log in now. But wait, you can't log in because you don't have the user here. So users are not there. Let's create a first user. Syed abc@abc.com. Or let's do Syed at Syed.com. 11111. Something went wrong. So why? Because we are using the port 8081, and I'm sure it's not there yet. So we'll need to change it for login as well, and register as well. And I think we already changed it for countries. No, we didn't. So 8081 for countries as well. So now refresh it. Syed at Syed.com. Register. Still not registered. There's some error which says connection refused. Let's see why. So I figured out what the error was. So the error was due to this. So I changed the BackDB host to MySQL and port to 3306. And now after registering, let's register Jack at Syed.com 111111. There you go. So successfully registered. So now we should be able to see the session storage here. This is our session storage. There is nothing in, right? So now let's log in. Jack. So as you can see, you can't go to countries page because there's no token in session storage right now. So Jack at Syed.com 11111. Sign in. Signed in got you to this page. Now this is log out instead of login and register. This is your token, as you can see. And now when you send this request, this request is sent and you can see the response. Now we will see the request. So now here it sent the request to countries API, and in the headers, as you can see, it sent this whole token. So this is how it was authenticated. That's why it gave you the response. That's it. That's how you can make your API secure. And if you do logout, it'll take back you here. How quick and easy was that? So today we were able to use Passport Authentication to secure our APIs. We also saw how can we deal with some unexpected Laradock and Docker configuration problems. And we also built login and register user management system. There are a few other ways to handle those, but the quickest and easiest way is to handle the authentication was to using session storage, which we did in this tutorial. I'll add a GitHub repo link in the description so you can go and have a look at the complete code. So that's it for the tutorial number 4, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope it was easy enough for you to understand. I tried to make it as easy as possible. Yeah, so keep your comments coming, keep liking my videos, keep subscribing my channel, and don't forget to give the feedback, as it is really important for me to do the future videos. Yeah, till the next video, look after yourself, and yeah, happy coding. Thank you.